Well, hello and welcome. This is Reiki Rita Roberts, and you've just joined me on Functional Family Fridays. This is a educational platform where I teach parents how to be a healthy version of themselves in order to dedicate this healing to end fear and dysfunction in families. Okay? So again, if you've never joined in on one of these live chats, then be prepared that the truth will come out about families. This is a platform where we're going to speak our truth with love and respect. Again, without truth, we can't heal what ails us. Okay? So today's topic is your parents have feelings too. I'm actually going to turn the tables around and have us start thinking of our parents as not superheroes or that wear capes and fly in and save the day. We have to start looking at our parents as real, live people. Often, many times, you'd hear me calling out parents to be the best possible version of themselves, to show up, to adjust their lives, their priorities, their schedules, their emotions, so that they can meet the emotional needs of their children. But this time, I'm going to turn the table on you as an adult parent. That you have to start in order to begin the healing process, to evolve emotionally. You have to start looking at your parents as real people. All right? So let's talk about your parents. In this lesson today, it'll provide you with the truth about your parents, so you can see them through the eyes of a grown-up, not through rose-colored glasses or a naive child. All right? So you're going to see them from adult to adult. All right? Because children tend to do that. When we're small, we think that our parents are invincible, that they never cry, and they're just above being human. And it's not the truth. Before they had you, before they had children, they were regular human beings that did the same thing like everybody else. Had wants, desires, wishes, dreams, but had to cast a lot of that aside in order to become parents. Okay? But children don't realize that. And if you're a parent yourself, you realize that you have a lot of stress and responsibilities that your children will never know about. And nor should they know about, to protect their innocence, and let them be children. Children, 21st century children, are growing up far too quickly and learning far too much that's not age appropriate, in my opinion. Second thing you'll do is help you better understand the truth about parents and the role of parenthood. Okay? Because a lot of times we have no clue what that entails. Now, but today, again, we're turning the tables around and we want to talk about you, right? You'll learn the truths about your parents in 3 important ways, okay? What'll happen, it'll help you eliminate the confusion, the frustration, disappointment. Perhaps you're feeling some anger, resentment, unforgiveness towards a parent you might be holding on to towards mom or dad. I get that. I used to feel like that as well. And this will also, seeing your parents through realistic lenses and not childlike lenses, this will help the forgiveness process become easier, okay? And again, most important, it'll help you step into the role of parent realistically, so you can become a better parent than your parents were. All right? That's why you're here. clearly. And one of the biggest fears that a lot of parents have that grew up in dysfunctional homes with controlling, angry parents is that they don't want to be like them. They want to be a better parent, okay? And they don't want the same thing to happen that happened to them to their children. So their goal is to be a better parent. And I'm assuming that's why you're here. So we have to look at things realistically. In order to grow and evolve emotionally, we can't still behave like children, throw temper tantrums, rant and rave, and this is nonsense. We have to put it on our big girl pants and our big boy pants, and we have to start behaving like realistic, mature adults. So that's my intention today, is that I'm going to read actually from my own book. This chapter 8, all right? It's adult parents learn the truth about, adult children learn the truth about their parents. It's one of my, people who read the book, it's one of their favorite chapters. So after today, if you would like this as a gift, the chapter 8, happy to give you that chapter, okay? So we'll talk about that later. So what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna read some of the points. Here's me with glasses on. And go through some of these sort of points about parents and the reality of parents, okay? So again, I pray that your parents have done the very best they can to raise you and to raise you with unconditional love, right? And effectively prepare you for the journey of life. But unfortunately, not all parents do, or not all parents can. Because remember, dysfunction breeds ignorance. And where there's ignorance, they don't have the maturity to know better. So they can't do better if they don't know better. And there's all kinds of parents out there. We talked about this in the last video, that there's still no manual, no skills. Parents aren't taught how to be good, conscious parents, right? So this is sort of an easy breezy one that I'm doing today in light of parents. It's not about me beating up parents or blaming all, parents for everything, because we're imperfect beings. We're not perfect. So here's me reading to you The Child of the Parent. All right. Following are some realistic guidelines to relating to and understanding your parents. Number 1, your parents are real. TV parents are not. Okay? If you cut them, they'll bleed. Right? Your parents were not educated on how to become your parents, so cut them some slack. Okay? So like we said before, they don't know how to be parents, let alone good, conscious parents. Okay? A lot of parents focus on the responsibilities, that they have the physical responsibilities of raising a child, but they have no idea about the emotional. And unfortunately, that's why you're hurting, and that's why you're here. So just because you have a university degree does not mean you know everything there is to know about life. Your parents have more life experience than you do, okay? So try to embrace that truth rather than deny it. I remember when my kids learned to drive for the first time. Right away, they thought they were better drivers than me when I was driving already 15 years prior to them. So it's just natural for children to want to do that, but realize that we do have a little bit of life experience, right? Okay. And yes, the rumor's true. You'll love this one. Your parents have sex. They had sex to conceive you, and plug your ears if you want. Again, put your big boy and girl pants on. They're probably still having intimacy as we speak, okay? They have needs and desires as well. So, that's the truth. They had to conceive you, therefore they had sex. So they know about sex, okay? Parents don't always like to, Parents do not like to think of you having sex any more than you like to think of them having sex. That's a reality. Okay? Parents make mistakes, and so do you. We're not perfect. None of us are. We're imperfect human beings. So your parents will make mistakes. The difference is if they're conscious enough to realize they make mistakes and then come back and apologize. Okay? So that's what we're aiming for, with conscious parents. So what else do we know about parents? Your parents will say and do things that will hurt you, offend you, or disappoint you. Unfortunately, they will. Okay? Maybe, hopefully not intentionally, but that will happen. Your parents will anger, disappoint, embarrass you from time to time. But you will anger, disappoint, and embarrass them as well. Okay? Your parents cannot read your mind. So if you're unhappy, you need to communicate that. Nobody is a mind reader. Okay? There are some great psychics out there, but nobody's a mind reader. If you're unhappy, you can't just assume that they'll know that. You need to communicate that in a healthy, grown-up way. Okay? Your parents, we said that. Okay. Your parents are not immune to pain. So when you say nasty, hurtful, angry things at them, they hurt. Sometimes they even cry, just like you. All right? So, think about the way you want to be treated. Your parents want to be treated the same way. That if you say nasty things to them, angry, hurtful, manipulative, malicious things to hurt them, they're going to feel that pain and they're going to cry. And I hope that's not your intention, because our goal here is to heal, not to hurt. Okay? So understand that that's very real for them as well as you. That parents do have feelings and emotions, right? So try to be considerate of them. Now remember, everything that you want from them, you need to give to them. Okay? The goal here is, now you might say, well, they're my parents, they should be examples. When we become adults, just like I did, and there's a turning point. There's a point where sometimes you feel more adult-like and evolved than your parents are. And you might be at an emotional level way more mature and evolved than them. And if that's the case, then it isn't about, splitting hairs, or I guess that's the term, we always joke about that. It isn't about they're older, they do it first. You're doing this, remember, for yourself, all right? You're doing this for you to evolve and to be a better parent to your children, or to be emotionally free if you're not a parent. So quit pointing the fingers as to who has to do what first. That's irrelevant. You're the one here. You're the one who's doing it. So just remember this. Just because you're changing doesn't mean other people will change. Okay? You're the one changing. So be comfortable with that. And you will. Okay. So if you hurt your parents, unfortunately, some parents might try to hurt you back. Okay? And that's a reality. That a lot of parents aren't evolved. And people still have that mindset. Ignorant people have that tit for tat sort of behavior. You hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. You did this, I'm going to do it back. This is extremely childish. When you're an evolved person, you don't do that. Now, that doesn't mean you let people walk all over you, but you don't lose energy to game playing and mind games, okay? So unfortunately, there are still some very dangerous, toxic, angry parents out there. So be prepared that if you try to take them on, they may take you on back, okay? Because they no longer see you as their innocent, cute little child. Now you've become a threat. That's what ends up happening, So listen to your parents when they tell you about their life experiences and share their wisdom. You might be surprised by what you learn about them, right? So many people don't have a clue about their parents and the type of person they are. They just see them as their parent, but they have a history. You know, they had a life before you. Get to know that. Learn some, embrace it. It might answer a lot of the questions that you're struggling with. Okay? If your parents smoke, drink, do drugs, you could choose not to. Okay? If your parents are abusive and controlling, you could choose not to be. You don't have to be what your parents are. That's a choice. It's freedom. Okay? If your parents are incapable of showing you love, you can reparent yourself and learn to love yourself. A lot of times we just so desperately want it from our parents. But as adults, we again have to take the glasses off and realize that some parents are incapable of it. And if they're controlling, addictive, ego, negative-based parents, chances are they don't love themselves. They're completely incapable of loving you. And that's the truth. So if you keep pursuing it, you're just going to keep banging your head against the wall. Realize that some parents, like it's one thing to give birth and become a parent. That's a natural order of things. But to be a loving, conscious parent, that takes skill, dedication, and hard work. Okay? That does not come naturally. All right? Now, that doesn't mean that some people are naturally kind-natured. That's different. You still need to learn the skills of healthy communication to be a healthy parent. Emotional intelligence. Okay? So, parents are not your servants. Do your own laundry, do your own dishes, cook your own meals. Okay? They're not here to be your servant. Okay? Ask your parents about their childhood. We talked about that. Be grateful for the opportunities that you have because they're your parents as well. There must be, in and amongst all the dysfunction, there's always some light in the tunnel somewhere, something good that makes you be a better person because they're your parents. Even though, for me, even growing up in a dysfunctional home, this has made me the person I am today. This has made me want to do what I'm doing so I could help you. And that makes me very happy. Okay? So even in the negativity, in the darkest dark, there's always some sliver of light and hope. Try to find that. What do you like about being the daughter or son of your parents? There must be some benefit somewhere. Okay? Stop taking your parents for granted. Okay? Your parents were once your age. So your actions, your behaviors, it's no surprise to them. They were once 16. Okay? They were once 20. They were once in love for the first time. They were once intimate for the first time. So we like to, again, think of our parents as these alien beings that have never gone through what you're going. Hello, newsflash, they're human beings as well. So there you go. Okay. Your parents are not responsible for raising your children. You brought them into the world. They're your responsibility to raise them and to learn how to raise them. Not your mama and papa's. Okay? What else do we say? Your parents will probably spoil your children, so factor that in. Like I have my very first grandson, he's 15 months old. I love him to pieces. And yes, there is a huge tendency to want to just smother those babies and spoil them and whatever, okay? So if you don't want spoiled children, you need to own that responsibility. They're your children. It's one thing if your parents want to help out here and there. Absolutely. It's great for the child to get to know their grandparents and the wisdom that comes with that. But the raising responsibility, that's yours. Okay? Try being proud of your parents and your heritage instead of embarrassed or ashamed. Okay? Be proud of them and where you come from. There's a reason that God, put you where you need to be and made you who you are. There's a reason for that. So don't be ashamed of it. Embrace it. Okay? Your parents, again, are not human beings. They're not superheroes. They can't fly in every second and save the day. Okay? You need to. So I guess you're starting to see a pattern here that you need to be responsible for your own emotions, your own life, your own finances, your own reality. And your parents are there to guide you and help you should you need that support. But they shouldn't be your source, okay? Especially when you're an adult now, okay? Good parents sometimes have to make unpopular decisions for you. So you're just going to have to trust their judgment, okay? Excuse me. Like being a good parent, being a responsible parent, you will have to make unfavorable decisions. Your children aren't always going to like what you have to do or say, okay? But that's part of being a responsible parent. And children will learn from that. Otherwise, it'll be a wishy-washy parent, and that's not going to help anybody. All right, let's carry on. Sorry, my voice is a little rough today. Here's another thing. It sounds like I'm beating you up today, but I'm sort of, laying down the rules and sticking up for parents today. So, yeah, I might be beating you up just a little bit. Okay? Sorry, but you are not the center of your parents' universe. Okay? If you have siblings or step-siblings, they require the same amount of love and attention that you do. Okay? So, if you're a parent already with multiple children, you could appreciate that you have only so much energy, so much time, and you have to divide that up by all your children. You can't start picking favorites and doing for one and not for the other. So you are not always the center of your parents' universe. That's a reality. Okay? Take the time to know your parents as people, not just parents. Okay? And your parents have wants, needs, and desires as well as a human being. I want you to remember that respect is earned, it's not inherited as well. You don't naturally get respect because you come from a certain family, okay? You still need to earn it, all right? People tend to make that mistake all the time. They think that just because they should get this or that, and parents make the same mistake as well. Sometimes we think, because I'm the mother, because I'm the father, you should bow down and kiss the ring. It doesn't work that way. Parents still need to respect their children, and they need to earn it, all right? You don't just get it. Again, age appropriate. When the child is little, all right, you have to teach your child how to respect you as a parent, other people, as well, and elders. So that's different. I'm talking about an adult here, that you no longer just inherit it, you have to earn it as being a good, healthy, lovable, respectable human being. Okay? Kindness goes a long way. Okay. And your parents also like to have fun and act like children and goof around. We're all big little kids, We all like to have fun. So that's okay if they act goofy sometimes. They don't always have to embarrass. You don't have to be embarrassed by everything they say or try to correct them every 2 minutes. Sometimes they just want to goof around. I notice sometimes my kids will do that. They'll roll their eyes or say something if I'm being silly. I'm just being silly and playful. We don't always need to be corrected, okay? We're not always losing our minds. We're doing it on purpose, sometimes just to joke around, okay? The other thing is, it's okay to apologize to your parents, right? And admit that you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. And same with your parents. You know, remember, forgiveness is only for strong people. People that are emotionally strong can forgive. Those that aren't cannot, unfortunately. So we got a few more and we'll wrap up. Parents enjoy hearing please and thank you from you. Manners go a very long way. Stop taking things for granted. Please, thank you. Okay? Your parents cannot and should not bail you out of everything you do wrong. Sometimes you need to learn how to figure things out yourself. That's how you learn coping skills. Okay? Know that they're there to support you, but you need to figure some stuff out too. Don't go running to them every time you have a small problem. As an adult, you may no longer always be their priority, okay? They may have, work concerns or finance concerns or have to take care of their elder parents or other children, as we said. So you're not always their priority. Parents do not become stupid or naive when they're older, okay? They become hopefully wiser. Now, I'm not talking about if they have a chronic issue and dementia. That's a whole different, that's a sickness, okay? But overall, we do not become stupid just because we're older. You kids like to think that, but it's not the truth. You could pass before your parents, so take better care of yourself, okay? Don't take your life for granted. There's no system of who goes first, okay? Your parents owe you nothing, by the way. They've done their job. They've raised you. They don't need to give you inheritance money. They don't owe you a damn thing, right? The only thing that they should give to you is love, respect, okay, and support. That's what they should be giving you. But as far as everything else, again, you got to earn their respect. You don't just get it just because, okay? You might feel entitled, but the truth is you really are not. You're not entitled, okay? There's no rule out there that says parents have to give everything, blood, sweat, tears, money, the cottage, the car, and everything, the business to you, okay? So stop feeling entitled. And I know you might not want to hear this stuff, but you know what? Mama Rita is here today to set things straight. Now again, we have to listen to the ugly truth. This is a reality in order to change our perspective and our mindset, okay? Your parents are, again, free to spend their money the way they choose, okay? If your parents get separated or divorced, it's not about you, it's about them. They still love you, both love you. This is about their relationship not working. So don't make it about you and don't blame yourself because it's not about you, okay? Do not put your parents in a position to have to choose between you and their happiness. That is not a loving gesture. That is completely unkind and disrespectful. Parents, again, have feelings too, and they never want to have to choose. That's as hurtful as saying, I have 3 kids and I can only save 2. Which one am I going to let go? This is a moral decision. You can't or should never put somebody in a position like that. That's very hurtful and malicious. Please don't do that. And if it's hard for you to tell your parents that you love them, it's really hard for some parents to say that they love you. There's just a stigma there sometimes for people, and they get choked on the words because it makes them have to feel vulnerable. And people don't like to be vulnerable, as you know. Okay? So that is the points I wanted to share with you, right? And what I want to say now is, if your parents are doing everything they can, their best, you know it's their best, and they have good intentions to try to unconditionally love you, right? And they're not perfect, but they're doing their best. Then you need to recognize their effort and acknowledge it, okay? See, in my case, when I stepped away from my parents, is because, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just about to say it. However, if you're maintaining a relationship with a parent who's abusive or toxic, or one that cannot or will not make an effort to love you, then you have to make a decision and you have to move on and make peace with that, okay? So what I was starting to say is that happened to me. I tried my very best to go back, communicate my feelings that I don't feel loved by you because of this, this, and this. And then they would say they would try, and then it would go back to what it was, and we had this repetitive cycle that just kept hurting me, disappointing me, hurting me, disappointing me. So that's what I'm talking about. If you get to that point, you know, and this was the whole idea behind today's teaching, to start to see the parent as a real person. So think of it this way. If your parent was a stranger, would you want to be in relationship with them because of the way they act, behave, and treat you? If your answer is no, then you have to realize that that this is maybe a time that you're at a crossroads. And you have to distance yourself in order to heal yourself and get better, okay? Is it easy to do? Hell no, it's not. Because there is just a blind loyalty that we all have to family. It's just inbred in all of us. So it's not the easiest thing to do, to step away or estrange from a parent or a child that's hurting you. But sometimes it needs to be done, okay? So with that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for being part of this Functional Family Fridays, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Well, before I let you go, I want to thank you again for investing in your family. Remember, your family's forever. It's not going anywhere. So you may as well make the best of it and try to heal what ails you. If you liked the chapter that I read today, please reach out, text, or email me, and I'll gladly send you the chapter that we read today. Okay? So that's my gift to you. As well, if you're not already a member of my group, which is called Stressful Family Relationships, Holistic Parenting Solutions, get on, click on. This is where you'll see the lives every week. Also, follow me on Reiki Rita Roberts, on YouTube, subscribe, and on Instagram. Okay? So from my heart to yours, have a beautiful long weekend. Stay safe, and I'll see you next Friday. God bless. Be well. Take care.